Great day and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. Yano Kelly, and I just want to take you guys through a brief explanation of simplifying and explaining the spiritual awakening. Okay, so for those of you that's new to my channel, I am Dr. Yano Kelly. I specialize in assisting people through their spiritual awakening, their ascension. You may know it as a spiritual awakening, an ascension, the great awakening. But to simplify, let me explain this to you, what you are experiencing. It is your spirit self that is waking you up to the real you. And for some of you, this is going to catch you off guard because you may have thought that you were being your authentic self, when in actuality, you have been living through your lower self. And this is where your spirit self, your higher self, which you know right now as God, but you're going to find that what you have been told, what you have been explained, expressed through using the Bible, certain books, you're going to come into an understanding. So you may not have been aware that there is an understanding and an understanding, which really ties back to, I'll break it down even further. So where you have been living outwardly and making outer changes, you're now starting a journey within yourself. So it's an inner journey now. So now you're going to go to the parts of you that you've never touched, the deep parts of you, okay? The heart, like I have this up here, which is the chakra. You're going to start learning about pointers on your body. And if I can even just simplify it, it's a journey to your soul. That is what the spirit, and there's so many ways to explain it. Your spirit self, your higher self, your God self waking you up. You can see it as now you've been living outwardly and thinking that this outside God has been the one that has been influencing your life. And now you're going to experience going within and understanding the truth about your reality, how all of this works, who you really are. So the challenge to this awakening is letting go of what you think you know. And literally, it's like you're going to be starting from scratch again. And the biggest challenge of this awakening is thinking that you already have the truth. And now your inner self, the real true God within, is now going to be giving you a different truth. You're going to have a new knowledge now from your divine self. So now you're going to have to trust yourself in a way that you've never trusted yourself before. You're going to have confidence, because when you awaken from within, that means all of your senses now is going to awaken. How you see things, the way that you see things, what you're hearing. So now it's like when you're moving from outward to within, you can also see it as leaving a physical world for a spiritual world, because your inner self is your spiritual self. It's an inner being. And this is where now your inner self is going to start teaching you and using the outer world to mirror back to you. Okay, so you're going to be encountering people that are mirroring back to you the things that are deeply hidden within yourself that you can't see. Now, there's different ways this is done, because your spirit is going to try to tell you this, but if you're not, and you're more than likely you're not used to having inner conversations. You're not used to having conversations with your higher self, understanding like who's really doing the thinking for you, who's really telling you what to do. Now you're going to awaken to there's a voice that's been speaking to you, that's chattering, that's constantly talking. Like you're going to know yourself from your lower self, which is you're going to come to an understanding of what God and the devil is from an inner standing from within, understanding that God is your higher self and that the devil is your lower self. And then you have your ego, which is your flesh self. And then you're going to understand that you have a soul. You know, what's your soul? So your inner journey is where you're going to know yourself now. And then through knowing yourself, you're going to have to master yourself. And in that, it's going to literally reflect back to you that you're taking your power. And you're going to see that you have been creating your reality all the while. It's not outside God. It was just a manipulation. You're going to wake up. And that's where the anger comes from, because you're going to realize that you've been programmed, that you have been manipulated and deceived. And you're going to realize that everything has been a lie. You're going to be able to see that everything has been flipped upside down. So you're going to come into a different knowing. And the key is to process. Allow yourself to process. A lot of times when we're waking up, we want to go wake up other people. We want to go and tell them what we know. We want to go and tell them the truth. But so I want you guys to understand that it doesn't work that way. Okay, like you can try it, but you're going to get a lot of resistance, because when you understand that your spiritual awakening is about you and for you, and also allowing yourself to understand that your family members, the people around you, when it's time for them to wake up, they're going to wake up. So what I'm saying is that you cannot wake anybody up. You cannot force or make anybody know what you know. And you're going to find that when you start speaking, you're going to look and sound crazy to other people. And I need you to understand that you're not crazy. That is a predetermined label that has been put out there just for these times. Okay. So in understanding that when you are now standing in the truth and you are awakening, you're seeing things, we live in a system that has been pre-programmed. So there are things that's already set up to try to shut us down from waking up. Okay. So you're going to hear different things about foods, not eating these different. Listen, I need you to follow. You're literally going to be pushed, because even if you continue to follow people and you get into the space of thinking that you don't know, because you're waking up to realize that you know things that you think you don't know. And understanding what that knowing is. You have an inner knowing that you can't explain how you know what you know, but you know what you know. And you're going to have to trust that. And you're going to have to trust that without evidence. So this is where the trusting yourself, trusting what you know, understanding that the spiritual realm is a whole nother world and everybody can't see. You have to awaken to this world, and you have awakened. So you're going to be seeing things about people, places, things, like you're going to know things and see things that other people don't see. And you're going to have to find a way to manage what you see and what you know, and understanding that everything that you're seeing, everything that you know, is not for everybody. It's literally for you. Understanding this is about you. This spiritual awakening is about you taking your power back, okay? Once you take your power back, you're going to change. And through your changing, you're going to change your reality. And in changing that reality, then you will be able to fully impact the world. So there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to have to let go of, especially trying to help other people. That's going to be a key thing, because we have a lot of programming. We've been deeply programmed. So if you look at it like a computer, you're going to have to unlearn and relearn. You're going to have to be deep programmed and like stripped of your software and hardware, and you're going through an upgrade and a full computer system upgrade. You may even feel like a computer. You may even hear codes being uploaded and downloaded, or information is going to feel like it's being downloaded and uploaded in the beginning. And then you're going to move more into a space of knowing. So to sum this all up, here's what I want you to understand. So you're waking up from your lower self. The 180 is that you're going through a spiritual awakening. All right. So I need you to understand that you are not going to stay in that awakening, because you're waking up. Then you become awakened, and that's different from woke. Okay, I need you to understand. Awakening and being woke is something totally different. Now, you will go through the state of being woke in order to be awakened. And there's a lot of people that get to the woke state and they just stay there. But you're going to know, because you're going to be pulled to come out of that woke to become awakened. And when you become awakened, that is going to where everything is one. You are everything and everything is you. Okay. And that's the awakened state. So you're going to wake up to a fullness of that. And this is where the other half comes in, because you're going to do a 360. You're going to come back to the physical plane, okay? So I know there's a lot of misinformation out there, but you're going to come back to the 3D plane. May not be the reality, but the 3D plane, and now you're going to live as a divine human being. You're going to learn about these different dimensions, and one of the biggest thing is the fifth dimension, and understanding that if you can really, the way for me to explain it is look at it as these dimensions are filters. So the even plane, the physical plane, is a 3D. It's a 3D physical plane. So when you make that 360 and you come back, now you're going to be still on the physical 3D plane, but you're going to be living it through a different filter, a filter that makes everything beautiful, a filter of love, of peace, of abundance. Okay, so you're journeying through. It's like, think about it as you're going to be elevating, and it's a process. I need you to understand that it's a process, and that there's levels within the process, and that there are levels within the levels. Okay, but your higher self is going to make sure that you understand all this, and understanding that even so, you have understanding, which is the lowest level. That's from your flesh. You have understanding, which is from within. Then you have overstanding, which comes from your higher self. So there, yet again, you're going to see it's all levels. And as you embark upon each level, your reality is going to be shifting with you. So I will tell you this, to be prepared to lose everything, but you're gaining everything as well. So what you're losing is your old life, all the things that you know is not right. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't sound right. Like all of that is going to go, but it doesn't come without suffering, because you're going to feel the loss of that. And that loss and that gain is like, you can compare it to the death and the rebirth. So you're going to die. You're going to feel that. You're going to feel the grief of the reality that you've been living in. But I need you to remember that you're moving to something greater. You're moving away from suffering. You're stepping into what we call heaven on earth. And when you think about what heaven is, it's another dimension. Okay, so when you think about dimensions, it's a level of consciousness. So you're going to be awakening to the truth that's going to set you free. And it's going to come across like as it's your truth. And it is your truth because you are waking up. And now yourself is giving you the truth so that you can live an abundant life. Now, here's what I want you to understand. Your mind is going to try to visualize what that abundant life looks like. It's going to be totally different than what you're trying to visualize it. So you may try to visualize it, but I can guarantee you, like when you're walking through it, it's not going to unfold the way it's actually going to be phenomenal. It's like going to be beyond what you can imagine. And the way that things are going to happen is not how you would want them to happen and how you want it to happen. Because you have to understand, you're at the leg of the journey in your life now where your higher self, your spirit is in control. So you're going to hear, like I said, a lot of messages, and you're going to want to try to take control, but you're going to find that you don't have control when it comes to your spiritual awakening, because your spirit is the divine intelligence. It is all seeing. It is all knowing. It is all powerful. So it has created these series of events, these opportunities, so that you can rise up into your higher self. Now, you're not going to like it, okay? But you're going to see that it's for your good. That the things that you're going to start going through is what you need in order to get, in order to step into the most authentic, the authentic version of you. Meaning that you're traveling through the heart space. And in that heart space, you got to there's something that's called the shadow work, or the dark night of the soul. This is where your fears are, your doubts, your worry, your anger, manipulation, deception. So you're going to go into that aspect of yourself, which is called the shadow self. This is where the devil concept comes from. So you're going to be able to better understand the devil, the shadows, demons, entities. You're going to come into the truth and realize how you've been lied to, and understand that fear is literally false evidence appearing real. And you're going to see how false evidence have been created to make something appear real. And then you're also going to notice too, what people think is a lie is the truth. So remember, everything is flipped. So you're going to start awakening to all of that. And I just want to tell you to give yourself some grace and understanding that it's all working out for your good. And so before I close this video out, I did do a oracle card pull for you guys. And we got boundaries. Okay, because on your spiritual awakening, if you've never had boundaries, you're going to have to start setting boundaries for yourself. Okay, and as you set these boundaries, because remember, this is all about you now. So you're going to look real selfish to other people, because now it's about you. You're going to be shutting a lot of things down, because if it's not about you and your growth and where you're going, it's a lot of things that you may have allowed. There's a lot of, especially as a divine feminine and masculine too, we've been running from a lot of things. So, there's boundaries that's going to be set. So you're going to set boundaries, but your spirit will also have boundaries for you as well, so that you can step into your higher power. Because it would only make sense for you to get the card that says reclaim your power. And this is about will. You're going to have to will yourself out of certain emotional states that you have, patterns, habits that you've created. This is where the generational curse comes in. Generational curse literally is just breaking patterns, habits, and behaviors that has kept your lineage stuck, that has kept them from love, from peace, from joy, from abundance, from health. Okay. Then we have inner strength. Reclaiming your power is going to require a strength that you didn't even know was there. Okay. And just when you think you don't have the strength, it's going to be restored to you. You also have self-mastery. So now you're going to have to master yourself, and understanding that you're going to have to call, in order to master yourself too, you're going to have to call out your own bullcrap. So where you were blaming people, where you thought people were doing these things to you, you're going to see that it's all coming from you, that it's not happening to you. It's not even happening for you. It's actually happening from you. And you're going to need that inner strength. And healing the victim mode, coming out of that victim mode. And of course, by right, when I tell y'all the spiritual awakening is the death and rebirth. And you're gonna feel that. And it says transformation. That's what the death, new self. And with a new self comes a new cycle, releasing resistance. So this death and rebirth is all about releasing the fears, releasing doubt, worry, lack, releasing all these things to step into the highest version of yourself. And guess what? You cannot go through the death and rebirth, reclaim your power, setting boundaries without surrendering and allowing the flow. See, we've been in a space of making things happen. Now you're going to feel catered to. Everything is going to come to you. Now, it's going to take you a minute to adjust to everything coming to you. You're going to see how much you are loved, okay? But it's going to require you to surrender. Like, this heart space is really going to be affected by this awakening, because you have to surrender in order to let things flow. And for the most part, you don't know what flow is. Some of you, this surrendering, you're going to be like, I'm empty. So you're going to get to a phase too where it feels like you have surrendered, and your spirit is going to be like, no, it's some more that's there, because you're going to discover how deep you really are, and seeing that you have been playing this shallow game and being shallow. And then the last one is moon, which is honor your phases. And you're going to have to do that. Respect where you are. Okay. This is you in so many phases. It's like you're balled up, you coming out and coming into the marvelous light, which is yourself, the true light. But you got to go through hell to get to heaven. And it says self-care, syncing with the cycles, understanding that you may have a cycle that is just rest. not doing anything. You may have a cycle where you're dealing with challenging people, where you have to rise up and speak. A season where you're going to have to really see things for what it really is. Like, you've been trying to make things be a certain way, but now you're going to have to see things for what it really is. You're going to have to start feeling. You're going to have to know that you can, and it may require you giving up intimacy, but honoring the phase and where you are. So right now, I'm just sending you so much love, and I look forward to breaking down this spiritual awakening and giving you guys what I have gathered, what I have learned, and explaining the freedom of surrendering and understanding that all of this that's coming from you is to free you mentally, to free your mind, body, and soul, to free you financially, emotionally, physically, spiritually, like just to free you. Freedom, liberation. That's what this spiritual awakening, the goal of the spiritual awakening is, to liberate you. Have a great day.